fake stuff and seen a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you're cool with, you'll never see. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, King can take you a long way. I just don't agree with King to, what I mean, actually,
The problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money.
Terence Crawford erupted at Floyd Mayweather after leaked sparring footage surfaced, blasting the boxing icon for crossing a line. Crawford said he expected greater respect for Mayweather, especially since Floyd often claimed they were cool. He expressed deep frustration that private training sessions were exposed without his consent, calling it a betrayal. For Crawford, such actions are unworthy of a fellow champion and show a lack of brotherhood in a sport built on honor and respect.
I had like disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, and me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like it was all cool at one point in time, and when Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and signed, I just feel like he just did a lot of fake stuff and seen a lot of stuff that a person that you claim that you're cool with, you'll never see. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, King can take you a long way. I just don't think King can, what I mean, actually think.
Eddie Hearn's remarks about Terence Crawford retiring highlight a sharp divide in the boxing world. On one side, Hearn praises Crawford's spotless legacy. He's conquered divisions, dismantled elite opponents, and cemented himself as an all-time great. Retiring now would preserve that greatness forever, much like other legends who bowed out at their peak. Yet Hearn also admits the financial lure is undeniable. With Saudi Arabia's massive investment and cross-promotional super events reshaping boxing, Crawford could secure record-breaking purses even without legacy-defining stakes. The temptation of multi-million-dollar paydays is hard to ignore, and Hearn, more than most, understands the delicate balance between safeguarding legacy and chasing financial opportunity in a sport where both power and money drive decisions.
Sorry? Should Crawford retire? Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off. Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, 6 division champ? 5? 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money. And there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, who's obviously very close to him, seemed to say, so maybe that's it.
Floyd Scoffield believes Terence Crawford should consider retiring while still at the top, arguing that the champion has already reached the pinnacle of greatness. Crawford has become a pound-for-pound king, captured titles across multiple weight divisions, and proven himself against the finest opposition of his era. For Scoffield, these achievements define a complete legacy, one that doesn't require further validation. He stresses that his point is not a critique of Crawford's skill or accomplishments, but rather a warning that continuing could bring unnecessary risk to both his health and his flawless record. If Crawford chooses to fight again, Scoffield feels it should only be against ambitious young contenders such as Virgil Ortiz or Frank Martin, fighters who symbolize the sport's next generation. This outlook reflects a broader shift in boxing, where rising talents are eager to test their strength against established legends. Still, Scoffield's tone remains respectful, emphasizing that Crawford has nothing left to prove and that retiring now would preserve his greatness forever.
I feel like Crawford, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil. Virgil or Duran, I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights you just got to see. You just got to see those fights before. I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch? Maybe a rematch with Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough. It wasn't close enough.
Really?
If it was close, maybe, but it just was like, It wasn't close.
The debate over a fantasy matchup between Prime Floyd Mayweather and Prime Terence Crawford continues to ignite passionate arguments among boxing fans. Both fighters embody complete mastery of the sport in their respective eras. Mayweather's defensive brilliance and unmatched ring IQ made him virtually untouchable, while Crawford's adaptability and ruthless finishing instincts have allowed him to dismantle every opponent in front of him. Yet reality paints a different picture. Mayweather is long past his physical prime, without the reflexes or endurance that once defined him. A present-day clash would lean more toward spectacle than genuine competition. Ultimately, the dream of their primes colliding remains just that, a fantasy forever debated.
So yeah, everybody. So this is a good question that the ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather, fantasy fight that will never happen. Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, this was old Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to say Pretty Boy Floyd. I'm talking about the younger version of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably Prime Floyd Mayweather, Prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford. But you talk about Money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt. Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight. People just need to see, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, fights, later down in the years. I think Crawford would just break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward, footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, no, nobody beats Floyd. Or if you try to or somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd will beat everybody. And I don't think it's the case with Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo.
Analysts often caution that numbers and accolades, while impressive, don't always determine greatness in a true head-to-head sense. Floyd Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record and his ability to remain undefeated across generations are nearly unmatched. Terence Crawford, however, stands out as an undisputed champion in multiple divisions, something Floyd himself never achieved. This makes comparisons complicated, as achievements from different eras can't be perfectly stacked against one another. Floyd's resume is filled with global names and blockbuster pay-per-view events, while Crawford's legacy shines through his dominant, decisive victories. Analysts stress that being more decorated on paper doesn't necessarily mean being the superior fighter inside the ropes. Ultimately, the debate comes down to context, timing, and contrasting styles.
Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11, but my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11, so you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped him over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box, and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on, I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford. You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, you know, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. Doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Zab Judah's recognition of Terence Crawford as the king of this era holds weight, given his first-hand experience with Floyd Mayweather's brilliance. Judah reminded fans that even Canelo Alvarez once hinted Crawford might be better than Floyd, sparking endless debates. For Judah, Crawford's dominance across multiple divisions shows a completeness few fighters achieve, carrying his power, timing, and composure with him at every weight. His words feel like a passing of the torch, acknowledging Floyd's reign while crowning Crawford as today's ruler. Canelo's unique perspective adds another layer, as he has shared the ring with both men. He admitted that Floyd fought him when he was still raw and inexperienced, while Crawford faced him as a mature champion at super middleweight. Crawford himself emphasized this timing distinction, noting that while Floyd schooled a young version of Canelo, his own victory came against a seasoned, dangerous opponent. This highlighted how context shapes legacies and why comparisons are never simple. Jeff Mayweather defended Floyd by reminding fans that when he fought Canelo, he was already past his physical prime but still managed to neutralize a hungry young star. Buddy McGirt, meanwhile, praised Crawford's complete control in his bout with Canelo, comparing his command of distance and pace to Floyd but stressing that Crawford adds a ruthless edge. Analysts also noted how Floyd's ability to market himself made him a global icon, while Crawford, though less flashy outside the ring, may possess greater natural skill. When fans debate who wins between Floyd and Crawford, opinions clash. Yet styles make fights, and Crawford's mix of power, versatility, and intelligence convinces many he would have the edge. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and don't forget to share this video with fellow boxing fans to keep the debate alive.